Hi everyone, this is Pam from Ink on My Whiskers, and today we're going to be making this beautiful star card that's been put together with the Bright and Beautiful stamp set that's new from the holiday catalog. Let's get started. The first thing we'll need is a piece of cherry cobbler cardstock. It's cut at 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches, and it's scored right down the middle at 5 1/2 inches. And we're going to need to cut out a window using the star framelets, and we're going to be using the second largest star. Alright, let's grab our cutting platform. This is the magnetic cutting platform. It's my favorite thing to use with framelets. And we'll build our sandwich. We need a cutting plate. We're going to need our cardstock. We're going to need our star framelet, and we're going to center that kind of towards the top and in the middle. So the fold line is up here, and we want it just a little bit below the fold line. We'll put our other cutting plate on top, and then we'll run it through the Big Shot. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And now you can see that we've got this great star-shaped window cut out of our card base. The next thing we'll need is 2 pieces of Whisper white cardstock, and both of them are the same size. They're cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And they're just going to go on the inside of the card. One to have something to write on, because cherry cobbler is kind of a dark color to do any type of greeting on. And the other one is going to go on the front of the card. To provide a background for that star cutout. And you'll want to be careful that you don't get any adhesive, like I just did, on the cutout of the inside of your card. Luckily, the star will cover that up for me, so I'll be okay. But you might want to watch that when you do yours. Alright, so the next thing we're going to need to do is cut out our cherry cobbler star. So for that, we're going to need a piece of 3 by 3 cherry cobbler. And then we're going to be using this star image from the Bright and Beautiful stamp set. So that's the smaller star. Here's a big one, and then the smaller one is the one we'll be using. And the first thing we're going to do is stamp the star with Versamark ink, because we're going to be embossing this with gold embossing powder. And the Versamark ink is the very best thing if you want to do embossing, because the ink is so sticky. The powder sticks to it with no trouble at all. Alright, so we're just going to stamp that right in the center. And then we're going to grab our embossing powder. I like to keep my embossing powder in little plastic containers like this, and I actually use a baby spoon to just sprinkle my powder over top of the stamped image. And then I can just tap the excess powder right back into the plastic container afterwards. Nice and mess-free. Okay, so I'm going to take this over to the heat gun and heat it up all embossed, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so here's our star all embossed in gold. Isn't it absolutely gorgeous? I love this stamp set. The other thing that I did was on a couple of scraps, one of Whisper White and one of Cherry Cobbler, I stamped the Wishing You a Bright and Beautiful Christmas and New Year that shines with happiness greeting. And I stamped this on white in Cherry Cobbler, and then on the Cherry Cobbler I just wanted to take the Christmas and New Year section, so I just used a tiny little scrap stamped in Versamark and then embossed in gold again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim these down, and I'm also going to run this star through the Big Shot using the third largest size star framelit. So once that's all cut out, we'll see you again. Okay, we've got everything trimmed up here. And now all that's left is to do some adhering. I've put pop dots on the back of the star to just add another layer of dimension. That's going to go right in the center. And then there's what our layered greeting looks like. That's just going to go right at the bottom of the card. We're going to take one of the basic jewels, one of the rhinestones. And if you haven't seen this trick yet, this is a fabulous way to get a little bit more out of your rhinestones. Instead of just plain clear, I'm using the darkest color of the Cherry Cobbler Stampin' Up! Blendabilities marker. It's a permanent marker, and I'm going to just color over top of the rhinestone and just change its color. And that'll go right in the center of our star for just a little bit of added bling. Another thing that I'll do to finish off the stamp is on the inside, we're going to just take the smallest star in Cherry Cobbler and add it in a couple of spots, just to finish off the inside of the card. If you want to go an extra step further, you can take a white gel pen, like I did here, and I just did a little dot pattern all the way around the outside, just to bring out the white a hair more. But you can see that the card looks lovely just by itself as well. That's all there is to it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and we'll see you again. Bye!